So this past week in student ministry, we looked at John chapter 3, the story of Nicodemus meeting Jesus at nighttime. And they have this unusual conversation of what it means to be born again. And Jesus goes on to say in John chapter 3, verse 16, honestly, one of the most famous verses in all of the Bible about God loving the world so much that he sent his son Jesus. But the text doesn't stop there. It goes on to say in John 3:17 this, so I'll just read it to you. It says, God sent his son into the world not to judge the world, but to save the world through him. And if you would read on, it says he's not coming into the world to judge us, because we've honestly already been judged. That our sin marks us with judgment. Jesus doesn't step down from his throne to remind us of our sin. Jesus steps down from his throne into earth to set us free. Jesus came to save, not judge. And so really the big picture of what we were looking at in John chapter 3 is that every time you meet Jesus, you have a decision to make. Is Jesus really who he says he is? Are all the signs and the miracles that he performs, are they all pointing to the fact of him being the Son of God? And so what do you do? What do you do when you meet Jesus? Do you give up your entire life to follow him? I honestly think Nicodemus did. Okay, we see Nicodemus later in the gospel stand up for Jesus in this really intense situation among other Jewish leaders. We see him in John chapter 19, where he's helping Joseph of Arimathea bury Jesus' body, preparing Jesus' body for the tomb. So what do you do when you meet Jesus? And this next week, we're going to go through John chapter 4, where a Samaritan woman, she's going about her day, and she has this encounter with Jesus that changes her life forever. And Jesus calls her out in her sin. And then she goes back to her town, and many people believe in the name of Jesus because of this woman's testimony. So I encourage you to really read ahead, move ahead into John chapter 4, and read that before Wednesday night or Sunday night to just kind of create a foundation for us to work with.